Namaste and welcome to this exciting episode of Sathology Debunking Mythology. Sat means truth, Logos means a study or science, and Sathology means a science of truth or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which is a science of fake lie imagination. And when you look at mythology, a lot of words have been spoken against yoga by the church leaders. And when you ask them, why do you pray? And they'll say, sound is a connection with God. They will say it. But when you talk about yoga and mantra japa or any om chanting of om, they say that is satanic, pagan. That is the culture of infidels. They say it publicly. So I have a very famous yoga expert, yoga scientist who is joining us from Jaipur and Rajasthan, where he is going to speak about a different form of yoga, which all of you know, Nad yoga, or Nad also means sound, and we'll talk about the benefits of that. So without delay, let us welcome Sri Atul Vyas.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome. Atulji, it is remarkable that they contradict themselves in one line. It's like they say one thing and they they did the same thing for Native Americans also. And Native Americans also, they say that Native Americans used to organize sweat lodges. Will they will chant their own prayers loudly to connect with the ancestors. Okay, they would do that, which is a very common Pitra Puja, Pitra Paksh is going on right now. So, but when somebody else does it, they say that is satanic. What is the mindset? What do you call this?
This is nothing but, what I can see is just infinity complex. And if you have nothing to prove yourself, if you don't have a very sound philosophy or sound science behind what you preach, then such things happen. You get contradicting your own self. You get saying something one time, another time, and you are against other religions or other practices, which is a sign of your own inner weaknesses. So, and hollowness of your own philosophy and science. This is what I perceive from their behavior, which is not which is very natural for anybody who doesn't have any solid basis on to stand on. Aditya ji.
So, like in India and other places also, the same tactics have been used from 16th century, not just today. And 16th century onward, they are saying this in India, and we see the impact now because social media, that how many people have actually changed in terms of their mindset. They think that their colonial masters are the only right people on the world. So, so when we talk about Nada Yoga, so how do you tackle this? Because we have so much richness here. Like you just quoted Planck's theory, and you also quoted that the Rishi Munis were always engaged. They were all researchers, scientists. They've already spoken and written it. But modern young guy in India doesn't know that all these things. Where do you think is the problem today?
I think no. I will little bit disagree with you. Yeah, young generation in India is very much aware of their own heritage and culture and these sound the basis of yoga, and they are doing great research work. To be honest with you, I mean, I know few people in Bangalore. They are from IIT and one is from Research. They are doing very serious research and they are doing a wonderful work in the field of consciousness. So now the things are different, Aditi ji, and there is the the advent of nationalism has really changed the scenario. So it is the ground realities are changing very fast, whether it is in history, whether it is in science. I mean, everybody is looking towards our ancient science, history, and philosophies, because uh, with the scientific temper, Indian philosophy, Indian Hindu Dharma is the most. It's a science actually. So it's a pure science. So people are really getting benefited when they are looking to it and they are doing research and they are getting the right results, and it's very logical. So the ground realities are changing very fast, Aditi.
So when it comes to Nad Yoga, uh, how do you put it, the Nad Yoga, in a definition for people? Some of you people may not have heard the term also.
Yeah, Nad means actually the right pronunciation. Sometimes from Hindi or straight to English is not correct. For example, the translation of Pratibha is, according to the English language, is genius, which is not correct. Pratibha is something very, very different. It is an illuminating genius, you can call it. Anyway, the point is that Nad means, if I take the literal meaning translation, is sound. Sound is, we call, the sound is an energy as per physics, and it travel in waves, and it needs a medium to travel. But in yogic parlor, uh, the nada means sound. It travels in waves, but like electromagnetic wave, it can travel in vacuum. This is the difference between the physics theory of sound and the yogic perspective of sound. So, and then there are two types of sound in as per yogic philosophy. One is ahat and another is anahat. That is, as per physics and Western science, the sound is produced when you strike something. The waves are produced and they travel. So that's they call aha sound, when you strike something and it creates vibration and wave. And secondly, the anahata sound is the sound which is natural sound, which doesn't require to be uh, uh, which to be struck, to be born. So this is the difference between the nada, which we call uh, shabda yoga, and the sound of the Western side. Aditi ji.
So when it comes to, you put it very well, when it comes to Nad Yoga, like when we sound, you mentioned about the sounds, we all know that we focus on mantra to connect with something superior to us, chanting Om. And it like, Om is the best way to meditate, like focus. You do 1 or 10 Om japa, and then you are fresh like anything else before. So why do you think that this is not caught up so much? In Bhagavad Gita also, japa is considered the highest form, and japa has mumukshu be three types: upamshu and kirtan. These are three different types of japa also. So why do you think it is not caught up yet? I love to chant loudly. I love it when I'm alone in
You
the.
are, if people don't know the science, you whatever you do is very, very scientific. I will explain the science behind it. Actually, after invention of electron microscope, if you see a ball from the electron microscope, what you see is not a ball. You see atoms shaking, molecules vibrating. There is nothing in Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, I said there is everything is moving, nothing is still. So if you see a wall, you will see the molecules and atom vibrating, moving to and fro, to and fro. And you know it, when anything is vibrating, it produces sound. So as per physical science, we have seen that everything is vibrating, they are producing sound. And in yoga, we believe that there is a prana in the body, the vital force in the body, and the prana is vibrating, oscillating. It produces its own sound and energy. So this is a very scientific thing, and basically there is no matter. The matter is the different forms of stages of vibration. You know what? The matter, there is no matter. It is only vibrations, different sets of vibration which is there in the world. So this sound is energy, and energy is all pervading. So this, using this energy for extraordinary, I mean, other purposes, physical purposes, has been invoked since uh, hundreds and thousands of years. It is recent researches. If I talk about the world, the recent researches show that the pyramids of Egypt, the big stones, which is still a mystery how they could reach there, and even today's cranes with all the present technology cannot build such pyramids of such uh, huge size, and so stones cannot be raised to that height. But it is the recent research has shown that they use sound to lift the stones. So if the physical bodies could be used to lift the soul, so you can imagine, I mean, sound can be used to raise your consciousness and clear the layers of your subconsciousness and heal yourself, which I will come and explain you bit by bit with the scientific evidences which has been, which has shaken the world around, that this Nadi Yoga is the real, is a wonderful essence of yoga, and very, very powerful technique. And all these kirtans, all this singing, all this music are a part of this Nada Yoga, Aditya ji.
The India and all the native cultures of the world knew the power of meditation and wisdom, also connecting with the environment. So the how does the practice of sound yoga connect with the environment, where some people also say it creates sound pollution? It's funny logic, but if people do loud kirtans and other things, create sound pollution. But Nada yoga is internal or external also?
Nad is basically sound. You know, if I talk in the terms of yoga, yoga has deeply analyzed sound, and according to yogic science, the sound starts from the navel, and it starts from the navel, and the energy which starts from the navel is called para. It travels up to the heart, and when it reaches the heart, it bifurcates into uh, two channels. One channel remains in the heart, the other channel moves up to the throat. In the heart, this energy is called Pashyanti, and when this Pashyanti energy reaches throat, it is called Madhyama. And when from throat, when this energy reaches the tongue in the form of words we speak, it is called Vaikhari. Vaikhari. So, you know, these four stages of sound has different connotations for the body, for healing, and for everything. So this sound, the other channel of the sound in the heart called Pashyanti, is the source of Anahat Yoga, Anahat Nad, or a sound which is not produced by striking, which is the internal sound. And when you, through the yoga practices, you can listen to this sound, which we call Anahat, which is not produced by striking something. It is a natural, inborn, your internal sound. We call Nad Brahma. Nad is Brahma, that is indestructible, all pervading, all powerful. So, this Pashyanti, through the yoga practices, you can listen to this sound after some time, and there are 10 stages of the way you listen to this sound. In first stage, there is a different sound, chi chi. Another is chin chin, and then it moves on from drums to thunder, and there are 10 stages like that. And when you listen to this sound, the ultimate object is that you have to dissolve your mind into this sound. This is called Laya Yoga. And there are wonderful pranayam called Brahmani pranayam, Nadi Shodhan pranayam, different this and they all contribute to enhance and use the sound energy, including and increasing and raising your consciousness, Aditi.
One of the opponents, like if you look at the American states, most of the American states, they have different laws than American federal. And the American states, many of them have, we discussed before also, tried to ban yoga because it affects their Christian popularity. And even though the papal bull said that the Christianization of America is over because Christians are more in number than the native populations in 1901, but still that mindset goes on. So yoga has become extremely popular in USA. Almost 60 to 70 million Americans practice yoga. But the traditional aspect of yoga side, like mantra and tantra, and also these things have not become popular. To those proponents of
Because
to those proponents of anti yoga people, what do you have to say using Nad yoga? Because science, they don't believe in science. I'm telling you, America is the biggest opposition to
well,
science.
well, well,
Go ahead.
well, there is a Max Planck Institute that is, I believe, that is in California, America. The Max Planck Institute is, is not in India. It is in America. And they have experimented, and 350 people were exposed to 50 minutes of music, sound, energy, and it was found to have not only decreased the cortisol levels, that is reducing the stress hormones, but surprisingly, it's a research. I mean, not mine, but Max Planck Institute research, and they found it that uh, the antibodies have increased in the body, and thereby immune system becomes very strong. And it was done on 350 people who were exposed to music for 50 minutes. That was, and it is also being done a study. uh, I am forgetting the name of the university that is also in USA, and in that study they have I mean, they have found out that the sound changes the structure of the cell. Sorry, it is the University of California, uh, and it changes the structure of the cell, because on in the cell wall there is an antenna-like structure which carries protein and which carries protein and all that. And during the illness, it changes its structure, its shape, and it was found after the advent of the very sensitive atomic microscope, which also works as the atomic microphone, that that's that antenna called that is called prime Cecilia, that part of the cell, antenna like outgrowth of the from the cell wall, that it is by the sound waves, when it resonates along with the frequency of that prime Cecilia, then it changes its shape and thereby cure illness. So this research is being done in America, and the mantras do this wonder when you chant them loudly or you chant them mentally. I will explain you the anahat and ahat experiment being done, and one can try by oneself. I will explain the techniques here with your permission, and anybody can try to do this and feel the difference. The proof of the, again I will repeat, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Aditya ji.
So one of the questions also comes in the Nad Yoga. If you can show some example for people, many people are watching us live right now, that what they can do to practice Nad Yoga, it will be phenomenal.
Wonderful. Okay, let's take example of Om. As you said, Om is made of three vowels: A, U, and M. So we will take one vowel by one vowel, and I will chant before you, and you can also try chanting it. A is to be pronounced. You after taking one deep breath loudly. We will do it loudly. A has to be pronounced without moving your tongue. It will come out like voice like that. So you have to observe. You have to be very mindfully observe that when you chant A, which the way I am chanting loudly, you will, before doing that, you have to relax your body. You have to be very, very calm. You have to do some meditation before doing that. Otherwise, you will not feel the vibration in your body. So what you will do, we will do, first calm our body, relax our mind, relax our body, and then we will chant this Om. So first I will sit straight, relax my body, and when you chant A loudly, you will feel vibration from the waist downwards to the toes. If you don't feel these vibrations in this area, then you have to calm down more, relax more, or you can put your palms on your abdomen, cheeks, or on the sole of your feet. Then you can feel the vibrations. By practice, you will start feeling them. So, okay, let's start the way I'm doing it. And this will instant give you instant relaxation and calmness. How I do it? Breathing in without moving my tongue, I will loudly say, uh, then I will again repeat it. You, if you are not feeling the vibration, then you may have to change the pitch, loudness, and frequency, low or high, to match your body's frequencies. Sometimes low frequency like creates more vibration. For me, this pitch is the best to suit my body. So after reciting this, you will feel the calmness, and the silence will be. This silence will really make your mind, prana, intellect silent for some time. So if your mind is too busy or running too fast, or you are too perturbed, then you may try this. Number one. Then we will recite you. That is by making our lips of the shape in a O shape. Then I will recite you. Like look. The body from your waist up to your throat will vibrate. You will feel this sensation, after some practice. Then the last sound is M. This will vibrate your this area to brain. This is wonderful vibration. It will calm your brain, and uh, it has proved to be prophylactic and very, very healing for people with the brain problem. Psychological issues. One can try this. And if you are highly stressed, it's an instant stress buster. But at the you can, I mean, there is a pranayam called Brahmari where you plug in your ears. I can't do it because I've got ear plug at the moment. But you can try with that as well. But that is a different pranayam. I will come to that again. So now we will do it. You try these things, and after you finish off these speaking them, you can sit in silence for 5, 10, 15 seconds, and that will be the best part of of your exercise part. And gradually, the silence and vibration will increase. So this is one part. In break, we have done the loud chanting of Om in parts. Now we will do it in different way. One will be loud chanting, one will be mental chanting. For example, in this, now I will chant mentally. Similarly, we will do it for you and we will do it for M. Loud chanting followed by mental chanting. This is one part of Om chanting you talked about. I will request all the viewers and even Aditya to try this right now and honestly record your feelings and uh, and share them here. That will be wonderful. I mean, I will look forward to get a feedback, and even Aditya can try it right now. And this is just a glimpse of uh, the Nada Yoga. Just a glimpse, just to show how it is beautiful for a stress buster. Aditya.
Yeah, no, I'm trying it since the first show you told me. I've been trying it, and you showed one of the shows also earlier how many times you have to chant, and I can tell you, it has made a lot of difference in my meditation practice also. So, thank you for showing that, because most of the people, they have a problem. There is a psychological disconnect with meditation, because especially those coming from Abrahamic faiths, they think meditation is the art of Satan or devil, and that's what they say. But what they are told is to come to church and listen to somebody else to develop spirituality, and it is a totally you know divergent view. For studies you need focus, but for God you need somebody else, so that they are dependent on someone else. Now it contradicts what they teach and what they say and what they practice. So to those doubting Thomases, now this is a word I'm using from the European dictionary, doubting Thomases. Now for those doubting Thomases, what do you have to say on the benefit of Nada Yoga versus believing in somebody else and then crashing after that?
Simple, one word. One should believe in oneself rather than somebody else. Nobody else can get you liberation or heal you. It has to be you. The sound with, look, I tell you, the real science is that it is a scientific study being done that every organ, every molecule, when they vibrate, have a different signature sound. You will be surprised. It has been done by a research study by a British doctor for 30 years. His name is, he was Scottish, sorry. His name is some Paul Jamie something. And he has done the research on this, that, and that he has made an instrument called cymatic. And that therapy is called cymatic therapy, CYMATC, cymatic therapy. And in this therapy, they have found that whenever there is the organ, whichever organ is sick in the body, they can record sound of that organ and amplify it so that it can audible to the human ear, and they find the missing note, and then they through that musical instrument emit those notes along with the music which are missing in that, and emit to that particular organ, and that person is cured. Secondly, sound called that is called magnetic resonance MRG, grounded focus ultrasound. These sounds are used to break kidney stones or gallbladder stones inside the body without surgery. Then another form of use of sound tool is HIFU, high intensity focus ultrasound. They use very high intensity ultrasound to cure, to attack the certain unwanted cell in the body. So use of sound, and you will be surprised, the low pitch sound below 20 hertz, which we cannot hear, is also very effective in breaking and clearing the inside stones. And similarly, frequencies above to 20,000 megahertz, hertz, uh, not mega but hertz, which is inaudible to the human ear, are used for medical purposes. Israel is using it, USA is using it in many parts. It's not very common, but people are really using them where, and especially in the neuroscience, this is doing wonders, because in neuroscience there is no drug at all. They just give you tranquilizers and certain drugs to treat you, but gradually, patient deteriorates. You can't stop the degradation of the patient. You can slow down through medical science. But these mantras, especially, I will come to the Bija mantra for the chakras, have done wonderful job in the neuro patient. And the study is being done by a neurosurgeon. She's a lady. She has done her medical sciences in America. She has passed out from American university, and she was the director of Cornwall, some well-being center, somewhere, very prestigious center. She was a director. So I mean, there are host of evidences the power of mantras. This is vibration. Mantra is what? But you have to use the intonations. For example, when I am using the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, it is not, you have to do Om Trambakam Jajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaradhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukhiye Mamratata. There is in Sanskrit there are sounds. We have to, there are intonations. You have to follow them, and then the resonance is produced. Mantra is the production of resonance patterns. Every mantra has got a different resonance pattern, and they affect the body. I mean, it's a common experience that sound. These mantras are specially designed, and in particular intonation, there is a toning and overtoning, which are, I mean, it's a deep science. It's unbelievable. I mean, I can go on and on with this science. So, I mean, anybody who says that mantras, they don't know the mantras. In Tibet, the Bija mantra were found after experimenting for 1,000 years. They found the Bija mantra for every chakra. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Sham, Om. You try these mantras 9 times each. You see the difference in your body. I mean, the I again say you have to experiment on your own self, and then come to the conclusion. Don't go by anybody who's saying nonsense. I don't care. These churches were the root cause of French Revolution. So they have not changed then. They have not changed since 1789. So what to talk about them? I will. I don't waste my time in talking about and giving them any weightage because they don't worth it. Aditya ji, sorry to. I don't want to be hard, but this is. I mean, you are. Like a blind man is telling that there is no sun, there is no light. It's like that. They have no. They don't know, and their belief is so narrow.
True.
If they follow Christ, if they only follow Christ and follow the example of love, they can reach to the spirituality. But instead of love, they are doing everything.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because this is the problem we face with the dogmatic beliefs. Because the dogmatic beliefs destroy an intelligent thinking mind. Very clear. My next discussion to you will be on. Will come back later on the same topics. But one thing I must say, that the science has come to a conclusion that the sound is the beginning of the creation of this entire world, and this is also called Shabda Brahma, which is already used in
True,
the Vedic literature. So
true.
Shabda Brahma, and even Stephen Hawking's, he said the world is made of vibrations. Now, why I'm quoting Stephen Hawking, I don't agree with him fully, but the concept of intelligent design was opposed so much in America. So I want to question Americans that you use science for convenience, but not for essential facts. So why this discrimination against science actually? Pick and choose. Like if science is good,
Because
pick everything.
like Galileo was prosecuted because he said that he went against the belief of these people. Any religion guided by a book is bound to be contradictory and bound to be dogmatic and bound to be, I mean, unscientific. Any religion guided by only one book, written, I don't know, 1,500 years, 1,000 years. In India, our Hindu dharma is the only dharma where you debate. There is a debate on every and each aspect of a religion. And after debate, we have come to this conclusion like constitution. So this is saying is now if uh, Americans believe Max Planck, if they believe in quantum theory says that the energy moves in particles and waves. You will be surprised. There was an experiment on the, that a there was a partition which has two holes parallel to each other, and there was a photogenic photo plate behind them, and a wave was a particle of photon was sent from a distance to toward that plate. You will be surprised when that wave was not observed or measured. It traveled in the form of wave and passed through the both the holes simultaneously. And when that wave was measured by some obstruction in between and was observed, it went through only one hole because it went through the particle. It went in the form of particles. It moved in the form of particles. One scientist, I'm again missing his name. He worked from 1970 to 1980 for 10 years on this, and then he observed that if this wave is only observed, not measured, and then it changes from wave to particle, and it behaves along with the intention of the outcome of the observer. If the observer feels that it should move like a wave, it moved like a wave. So the intention which is there in the mantras and part of Nada Yoga, has been proved by science. I mean, that why the wave will move in a, the energy will move in a form of wave or particle. And secondly, the quantum physics theory says that there is an underlying connected energy below in this universe. Everything is interconnected. Same thing our Vedas have said. Same thing Hinduism has said. So actually, the science is validating the Vedas. Science is validating yoga. Science is validating our 10,000, 12,000 year old science, Aditi. I'm so thrilled when I read these researches. So, I get goosebumps, and I'm so proud. I mean, so I don't care for what, I mean, their own people are contradicting their own churches, theories, and I mean, so what to tell about them, Aditi ji?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Atulji. And it's such an informative and important session. The yoga is science, dharma is science, and it requires oneself. Like you said, so important point. We we need to focus on ourselves. We as I as an individual, and to attain a higher destination, because you'll be shocked to know that the Native Americans believed in an onward journey of the soul. All native cultures, Native Americans, South American natives, European natives, but the Abrahamic attacks by the churches and the faith-based colonialists, I call them faith-based colonialists, it's a critical faith theory that my faith is better than yours. And this faith-based apartheid as destruction caused so much destruction. The entire colonialism is because of papal bulls. Everything. It is sanctioned by the church. The church asked the armies to go out and colonize people because they are heathens, pagans, satans, satanic worshippers. Anyway, thank you so much, Atulji. If you want to add something, let me know. Please add it.
Yeah, I will conclude, by saying that mantra is an energy, and all forms of matter are there in the mantras, in the sound energy. Therefore, by chanting simply mantras, not loudly, even mentally, and through by brain japa, we call it mental japa, you can get anything and everything in the form of matter. Matter can be created. The miracles shown by the saints is the real science. The energy, the recent science has shown that energy can be converted into matter and matter can be converted to energy. They are not two separate. And the quantum physics says that there is all energy, and matter is nothing but different form of vibrations of a sound energy. So any matter, Mercedes Benz, you want this big up, that can all be created through mantra japa, which our saints have been saying. Take Ram Nam and everything. You can achieve anything and everything with Ram Nam. It's a science which has been validated by science, Aditi ji. So I'm so happy and so proud. And mantra jap is the best thing one can do to raise one's consciousness, to achieve anything in the world, for worldly success as well as spiritual success, and for protection and for increasing. And one thing for Native Americans you talked about, Native Americans drum beat, they're called tom tom drum. Their beat goes like long beat, then short beat, then short beat. It has found to strengthen the muscles. And the pop culture, which the beat goes like short beat, short beat, and long beat, was found to reduce the normal muscle strength of 66% people by 90%. Muscles they got weak. It's a scientific research. I'm not saying for putting for myself. Simply changing the beat. So Native Americans who had structured the tom tom drums, tom tom beat they call, it's long beat, short beat, short. They are supposed to strengthen your vitality and your muscle strength. So that's the sound energy. You have done nothing. And if you do the pop culture, you feel the burst, but you actually your muscle, you lose from normal muscle strength is reduced by, I'm forgetting the percentage, 60 to 90%. So this is the research I can send you across. So our Native Americans and Native Europeans were more intelligent, and they had no agenda. See, if I have got an agenda, the problem with them is they have an agenda and they have to prove something. They don't go by what is happening. Indian saints and Hinduism never had an agenda. They found out what is there in the universe, the basic things in the universe, and they explored it. Not only explored, they propounded, but they were debated. Even Shankaracharya, Advaitavad were debated, and there were many forms. In Hindus, they could be Gnostic, I mean atheist. There could be a believer. There could be Shaiv. This is the flexibility. Where the real knowledge is, there will be flexibility. That is the real democracy. Essence of democracy. With the churches, there can never be a true democracy. Aditiji. So whatever Americans say that they are having a democracy, I believe it's a sham democracy because of the church. Thank you.
You are absolutely right, because the word democracy was introduced in the US in 1775, when the European settlers became more in number than the Native Americans, so that they can control the politics. And the first nations of the world, which included 5 combined Iroquois tribes, they were completely defeated, and that's where the democracy was introduced. And so it is not Loktantra. The Loktantra is a bad translation of democracy. Anyway, like every other Sanskrit word, Loktantra has a much deeper connotations than democracy.
You know, I'm sorry, China also says they are democratic because they hold elections. So democracy has so many different meaning. Mexico says we are democratic, Fiji says we are democratic. But real democracy is the freedom of mind, the freedom of belief, and freedom to choose on the basis of your choice, intellect, and satisfaction, and respect for the other's viewpoint.
That's
That's
right.
the real democracy, and which we have been this tradition has been going on for last 12,000 years ago.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much. And thank you all the viewers for watching. Today is the time that we have to reflect and enjoy Nada Yoga. Namaskar.
Thank you. Good night.